healing can feel like a scam. And I'm saying that because it does feel like a scam to me. The way y'all promote it on social media, like, all you gotta do is pick a day and, you know, just go in, and from the beginning to the end, it's gonna feel like like, no, that's not what, to me, true healing is. True healing, you're gonna feel uncomfortable, and I know my uncomfortableness comes from being vulnerable and allowing myself to sit in my feelings and emotions. Like, I can acknowledge it, like, you know what, I'm not happy about that situation, but actually sitting in that emotion, that is tough. That And I feel like it's tough because in the Black community, especially for Black women, young girls, we are trained and taught to hold things down and be superheroes and just be a strong Black woman, and not don't acknowledge your emotions, like, for real, for real. And to honestly, truly heal, you have to acknowledge your emotions. Truly allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to take a pause and be present with your feelings. Two, when it comes to healing, that I've noticed that a lot of people don't talk about, you're going to feel frustrated. I was so frustrated with myself looking back all the things that I allowed, like in friendships and the way I decided to do stuff. I'm like, but why did I allow that? Why would I think, like, why did I allow that type of friend to be in my life? And I was really upset with myself. And, the frustration grew. And I'm like replaying the whole thing in my head. Like, what was you thinking? But, within that, I had to learn to give myself grace. I didn't know. A lot of stuff I didn't know, but a lot of stuff I'm like, okay, girl, that was a whole pattern. But you still decide to make that same mistake, and understand that you made a choice. And within that choice, you have to sit in that, like, that's the role that you played in certain situations when it comes to, I'm just talking about in friendship in this part. When it comes to friendships, like, dang, I did, I accepted that type of friend. I accepted the inconsiderateness. They showed me that they wasn't considerate. They showed me that they did not like me. In instance, I've been told, oh, I don't like you. Now, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, but you're still sitting in my face. I know you're like, girl, they just told you they didn't like you, but you still allow them sitting in your face. I was desperate for friends at the time. I was just like, I just want a friend. And like I said, I felt frustrated. I felt embarrassed. I felt shame. I'm like, dang, girl, you let yourself down. So if you're feeling shame, embarrassment, and frustrated, that's just feelings to indicate you have to forgive yourself. Don't make the same mistakes again. And really take the time to analyze the lesson that you learned. Oh, this was the biggest one of truly analyzing and learning the lesson. Because there's one thing to say, okay, I learned from it, but you're going to get tested by life. By a similar situation, a similar person is going to come in your life. And that's when you're like, okay, did I truly learn from my past lessons, or I'm just saying that so I won't have to revisit that whole situation all over again. And the last thing I feel like a lot of people don't talk about enough about healing, or I guess my experience when it comes to healing, and if you can relate, let me know in the comments. The like the uncertainty that you feel now that you know you have to let go of these negative habits to walk into something new. I'll say the biggest one for me. I can forgive people, okay, but my cutoff game is strong. I will cut you off, and I'll let like in the past. I guess I wouldn't let you know. I'm like, yeah. I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be our last conversation because at the end of the day, people know what they're doing. The Lord let me know, darling, that's not healthy. You gotta communicate with people on how they hurt you before you make the big, cut off. A lot of stuff I did assume. I was like, dang, I assumed that they knew they did me wrong. Some people they don't know, some people they do know, you know? And I was so on like, yeah, I was so adamant, like, yeah, I'm gonna cut you off before you cut me off, but continue to do me wrong. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with cutting people off. But I feel like it's steps to it. Like, let's communicate first. Let me address the problem first. But if they don't want to change, or they feel like or if they feel like what I'm doing, I'm being over dramatic, over sensitive about the situation, then yes, leave them where you found them. But the way I did it was not correct, and the uncertainty to navigate that, like, now I can say that, like, okay, yeah, okay, I can see, communicate, give them a chance to make the situation better if they care about the friendship. But if they but don't just assume, because everybody's not like you, so everybody's not going to operate like you. And just don't assume like, oh yeah, they know they did me wrong and I'm gonna cut them off and just drop communication. That's hurtful. Wraps up this video.